There we go. We're live. All right. Welcome. I'm Mike Golfs Oregon. I want to welcome tonight Jeremy from Double Bogey Bass. I almost said it wrong. Double Bogey Bass. We are going to talk about two amazing pastimes and hobbies that I think most people are, or most guys, most golfers are probably into, which is golf and fishing. Jeremy, how you doing?
Doing great. Thanks for having me on.
I want to start with this. When is the last time you golfed, and when is the last time you fished? And I think I know which one you did first.
Yeah, well, last weekend I fished in a golf. I fished in a tournament, actually, a kayak tournament last weekend, and had my best finish. I finished 14th out of 81 kayak anglers, so I was pretty happy with that. As far as golf, it's probably been, I don't know, probably 3 or 4 weeks now.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't been out. I need to. Thinking about going out tomorrow.
Did you win any money in the
No,
fishing?
No, it was about, I think, top, well, it takes the top 10%. So top 8 placed in the money. So pretty close. I was only five inches out from, because in kayak tournaments, we go by length, not weight. So we put them on a board, we take their picture, and it's all based on length. Since we don't have live wells, we can't keep them and get all the weight at the end. Yeah. So
cool.
Yeah, I was like 5 inches out of top 10. So probably 5.5 inches from making any kind of money.
Is that a lot considering in
not necessarily. I mean, you just, every fish, it's your best 5 length. So if I caught 1-inch fish bigger than the one I caught, for each one, I would be in right there in it, or just one really big fish. So, yeah, I was happy with it. Any top 15 in the, I fish against some of the best guys out here in California, so I'll take it.
Yeah, I would too. I want to say hi to Sydney. I see Sydney in the comments there.
Hey, Sydney.
I think I'm lagging a little bit. So if Sydney, if you see this lagging or weirdness, tell me. Be nice to know. I don't know that I can do anything about it. So let me ask you this. Oh, well, first of all, you said you hadn't golfed. Last time you golfed was 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, almost something like that. I'd have to look at my 18 birdies app to see when the actual last time was. But so it's been a while.
Okay, so it sounds like the last time you fished was very successful. That's awesome. How about the last time you golfed? Tell me, how'd that go?
I mean, yeah. So like, obviously, golf. The more you're golfing, the better you are. So I think probably wasn't my best round, but I think I shot in high 80s. So I'll take that. Anything under 90, and I'm happy.
Okay, Paul. So I see Paul golf 50-50. Where's Jeremy based, or did I miss that? Well, Jeremy, you share where you're based out of. I think I know.
Yeah.
But
so I'm just outside of Sacramento in a town called Orangeville. It's a suburb of Sacramento.
Is that out by Roseville? Is that like sort of northeast?
Yeah, close. It's closer to Folsom than Roseville, but
yeah. Okay. Where did you play, by the way?
The last round, man, you put me on the spot. I should have looked this up.
I put you on the spot with facts about what you did.
Yeah, I know, but I don't really shoot. I think it was at Turkey Creek in Lincoln.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that was the last round that I played, Turkey Creek.
I think I've only played one course out there, Marietta. There's a north and a south course in Marietta.
Rancho Marietta.
Yeah, Rancho Marietta.
I've actually never played either one of them.
Okay, I played for some work functions out there a couple of times. It's pretty fun. So you do both golf and fish on YouTube. More fishing now than golf. I think you can almost call it a fishing channel, but that's cool. Which is more frustrating? Which is more frustrating for you?
Frustrating, as in like to film,
you tell me. Here's what I was looking at. In terms of a hobby, right? We do hobbies to have fun and to relax and enjoy ourselves. And yeah, there's some frustration involved in it. Golf has its own frustrations. Fishing has its own unique frustrations. Which one? Sure. I would say this. So in golf, it's you versus yourself versus the course. And you can get frustrated with a bad shot or bad score. Fishing, it's you versus you. you versus the fish, you versus the environment. You might lose a
Yeah.
fish. Explain to me which one of those do you get more frustration out of?
I probably get more frustration if I'm in a tournament fishing and like you said, you lose a fish or something like that. It could be the difference between, a really good finish or not. But it's kind of funny because like if I'm out fishing and the fishing's tough, I'm always like, man, I should have went and played golf today. But then I'll be on the golf course and I'll be playing terrible and I'll be, man, I should have went fishing today. This is terrible. So, I mean, they're equally frustrating, but that they're equally fun and challenging, and that's what keeps you coming back. And it's like the times when you have those spectacular days, you're just like trying to replicate that every time.
Yeah.
So that's the draw.
I guess what would make you feel worse, right? You have you lip out 18-inch putt for an eagle, or you lose a fish at the kayak. You lose a fish that clearly is going to put you over the top and into the money.
Yeah, I would say losing the fish because golf's never going to make me any money. I might have a chance of making some money in fishing.
So do you fish? You fish in a league, right? Or I don't know if that's the right terminology.
It's just like a tournament competition series, basically.
Okay.
So there's several of them out here on the West Coast. It's not just like one specific like tournament series. They have multiple, and then they even have some that are like nationwide, like the Bassmaster. Everybody's heard of Bassmaster, right? Well, they have a kayak series too, so you can fish in those, and if you qualify for those, it could lead you to some bigger tournaments all over the country. They just had one in Caddo Lake, which is in Louisiana. So if you had qualified for that, I think you could. Yeah, I think you have to qualify for those. So.
And those have big money, right? That professional
yeah.
fishing circuit is like really big money.
Oh yeah, I've fished in some kayak tournaments that first place was like up into 10 grand for first place for catching fish. So that's pretty good, and like a free kayak on top of it.
Nice. Have you always on the kayak side of it? Have you always been a kayak fisher? How'd you get into kayak fishing? What led to that?
So just kind of the whole thing with YouTube. Like a lot of people during the whole COVID stuff, right? I was at home watching YouTube a lot, and there's a YouTuber that's pretty popular out here on the West Coast, and I was just watching his videos a lot. Actually, there was two of them, and then I was just like, man, I want a kayak. I want to get into that. I love fishing. I've only ever fished on the bank, so COVID hit and I started fishing from the bank. And I was like, no, I'm going to buy a kayak. I'm getting off this bank. I'm getting out on the water. So that's what I did, and just never turned back from there. And then, you start just kind of like anything that you start meeting more people in the community and getting more involved in it. And it's just a great community. Everybody you meet, super friendly, super nice. You go to these competitions, you're competing against them, but you're still enjoying like talking with them and hanging out with them. And that's what we just did this past weekend, camped and just had a great time. And then tournament morning, we're all fighting against each other. So yeah, it's like a cool dynamic.
You're just like golf, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Just like golf. But also just like golf. So there's a ton of similarities, and I just was like kind of jotting stuff down, notes and everything. Both involve having severe gas, which is the gear acquisition syndrome. Which do you, I mean, I think I know based on what I'm looking at behind you, your store of fishing gear that we were talking about earlier, and then your Memento golf balls, which gives you worse gas, fishing or golf?
Oh, well, probably fishing. I mean, you get you have your golf clubs. Those are purchased that is expensive one time, right? But you don't usually lose them unless you leave them on a course or something. But fishing gear, a lure is like $10 or more each one. You might break off and lose. There's $10 out the bank, and you're always buying more fishing poles. So I'm pretty happy with my golf setup. I usually hang on to a set for quite a while. So I would say fishing probably the more expensive of the two.
What's the next planned purchase? Because there's always something that you're thinking about.
Well, I just recently bought a new to me driver. It was a used one, but I've been swinging the R15 TaylorMade for probably, I'd say 10 years now. And I just recently went and purchased the Stealth used, and I haven't even swung it on a course yet. So so that was my biggest like recent purchase. Other than that, I'm happy with it. I mean, I just recently bought, I think last year I bought the TaylorMade P790s, so I'm totally happy with those. They're
Okay.
brand new.
Yeah.
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 So I don't really have any new golf that I need to buy.
No purchases planned. What about
Yeah.
need? What about your next purchase for other than just let's say incidentals like lures and line and stuff like that? What's the next major purchase for that you're
For
looking or
fishing.
hoping to make for fishing? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, with expanding into the whole tournament thing, there's a it's called live scope. It's a graph. Like, everyone knows what a fish finder is, but this
Mhm.
one's like a live scope that actually shows the fish like moving in real time. And it's all the rage in fishing right now.
Like video?
It's close to it. It's not actual video, but like you can see the fish moving. It's hard to explain without seeing it, but like you can see the fish come up for your bait, and you can see them eat your bait and everything live on a screen as it's happening. So that's like the new rage in fishing. That would probably be the purchase I would want the most if I were to upgrade.
And they allow that in competition.
Some of them, yeah. There,
That seems
it's
like
like I said,
slope. That seems like slope on a rangefinder, right?
right. Yeah. There's, it's like like you said, with that slope, that you have the pros and cons of everybody. There's same with the fishing community. There's people that are all for it, and there's people that hate it, call it a cheater box, whatever you want to call it, like, but there's a saying in it now that they say, if you're not scoping, because that's what they call it. If you're not scoping, you're hoping. So yeah, I'm for it either way. Like, I go out to fish to just kind of enjoy it, and that's more like, I don't know, it's just a little too hardcore. But at the same time, when you see it live, you're like, that is awesome. I could totally use that.
It's like borrowing a buddy's new driver. it's the
Yeah,
same. It's the same sort of concept. I guess one of the things I forgot to ask and sort of maybe preface the whole fishing thing. At least in your videos that you make, there it's almost exclusively bass fishing. Is that it? Do you fish for other fish? Do you fish for panfish or trout or salmon or any of that kind of
yeah.
stuff? Any
Oh
trophy
yeah.
fish?
I have a few videos on my channel of trout fishing, trolling for trout. I'm mainly into bass fishing now, but yeah, I still enjoyed it. Like trout fishing, I went to Alaska and did some salmon and halibut off of a charter, and that was amazing. Some of these guys take these kayaks that we use and they go out in the bay. I don't know, man. I don't like a great white shark swimming up to me and like nosing my kayak. That just freaks me out too much.
How big is your
I,
kayak?
I have two of them actually. One of them's 10 foot and one of them's 12 foot.
Okay, so even 12 foot's that's not very big at all, right?
And like I said, I've seen videos of sharks swimming underneath your kayak, and I'm not down for that.
I think I've asked on probably I don't know, probably at least a half a dozen of your videos. Um, have you fallen in yet? I know
I
this.
have
Here's
not.
the deal: the kayak is probably so much more stable than it looks. And
100%.
whenever
Yeah.
I'm watching your videos and you jump up and
Yeah.
you're
So
trying to land a fish.
yeah, my most successful video on YouTube is a review I did of the kayak, like from
Okay.
top to bottom, and like I took it over to my in-laws pool, and I'm literally standing on the bow of the kayak, like on the very tippy top of the bow of the kayak, and it's not flipping. That's how stable it is.
Okay. I need to go watch that. Because
Yeah.
once I see that, I'll probably stop asking you because it will be very clear that it's just not going to happen. My my sincerest
Oh, it can
desire.
happen. It can happen. So you always got to wear your life jacket because you just never know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess. I guess. So what's sort of your best finish in one of these bass tournaments?
It was just this past weekend, the 14th. I mean,
Oh, that was.
I've had bigger like actual length limits in other tournaments, but it's on some lakes that just put out massive fish. So like it kind of just depends on where you go. You know, some of these lakes hold smaller fish and some of them hold some really big, giant, largemouth, and it's hard to compete. Like actually in this tournament, the winning limit was like over 106 inches. So that's like an average of 21 inches. And that's big for bass.
That's a big bass. That's a huge
That's a
bass.
huge bass. And he had
What's
5
the
of
biggest?
them. Yeah.
I'm assuming guys can cheat.
Oh, it happens. I mean, there's
Or
been all kinds
I've
of
seen you take pictures, right? It's all picture. You put them on the board,
correct.
take a picture. What kind of walk me
Correct.
through that? Like, actually, walk me through tournament day. What does a bass tournament day look like? Like, I think you've had some out at Folsom, so I'm assuming you're just leaving from the house and off you
Yeah.
go. What is that? Walk me through the day.
So we have a certain time limit of when we can be on the water. So usually there's like what they call a launch time where you can put your kayak on the water, but you can't leave that site or in your like wherever you launch from. You can't leave that site until what they call launch time. So if launch time is 6:30, you can get on the water at 5:30, but you have to sit there at that launch until 6:30 when the actual time starts. And then you have like usually you have like 30 minutes where they go launch time to lines in. So there's a 30-minute time where you can get to somewhere else on the lake before you can ever make a cast. You're not allowed to make a cast if it's not lines in time. So then you have your lines in time, say 6:30, and then you have from like 6:30 till 3 o'clock to catch your best 5 fish limit. And then once that 3 o'clock hits, you cannot make another cast. Any fish you submit after that time is just going to be denied. So you have to
So
have
you're
all your
catching just as
fish.
many. You're catching just as
Yeah,
many fish as you can and just
you're just
posting all of
trying
them,
to
right?
you're just trying to
And then it's
upgrade. Yeah.
okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Do
you
you?
don't even have to post them all because like if you already know, hey, I this is my smallest fish is 14 inches, and I just caught a 13 incher. There's no reason to upload the 13 because your smallest is 14. So you just let it
Okay.
go and just try to catch
Yeah.
something bigger.
And obviously, like I think even in some of your videos you talk about it, you're out the day before or the week before,
Yeah,
like
a
trying
lot of
different
times.
setups.
Yeah.
How do you do that? What's the prep thing? What does the prep look like for a bass
So
tournament, especially at a
yeah,
place that you fish a lot?
or a place you don't know very well. But yeah, we call it pre-fishing. You know, you get out there the day before or a week before, and you're just out there trying to see what worked that day, so you can replicate it on tournament morning. And if you find fish, we all have these fish finders, and you can mark that spot on your fish finder, so you can go right back to that spot on the tournament day because you already have it marked in your electronics. So that's basically what it is. It doesn't always work out because the
Fish
weather
move.
could be fish move. The weather could be totally different, like everything. So there is a lot to be said about that because like sometimes you can really stumble across something that you can say, hey, I'm going to do this on tournament day, and it works out. So
Mm. Hmm.
I
Okay.
just don't always get a lot of. I don't know, some of these guys that I compete against, man, they're out there pre-fishing 2 to 3 times a week. I don't know how they have the time to do it. I only get my weekends, so I'm going in blind a lot of the times, like no pre-fish. I'll just show up on tournament morning and fish.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. It seems kind of funny to mark a spot to me because fish are going to move. Although there are spots that like they prefer, right? Things like that.
Oh yeah, there's definitely trends of what fish prefer. Like areas of the lake, certain areas of the lake hold fish. Historically. So
What's the biggest bass you've caught? One, outside of a tournament, and two, in a tournament.
outside of a tournament was just last month at Folsom. It was 6 pounds, 3/4 ounce, almost 7 pounds. That was the biggest one outside of the tournament. The biggest one in a tournament was a little over 5.5 pounds. And I caught that one on a topwater lure with about 15 minutes left in the tournament. So it was just like the adrenaline rush of that, and you're just
Out with
trying
a
to get
bang.
it on. Yeah, trying to get it on the board and not have them, because I've had fish flop off the board before I could get a picture, and that's like heartbreaking. Like they'll just flop and go over the side of the kayak before you could get that picture, and then you're just like, well, that didn't happen.
That's so that goes back to the earlier question about frustration, and that's why you
Yeah,
said,
that's
maybe
lipping out an eagle
losing the
putt
fish.
right there. Yeah,
Yeah, that's slipping out an eagle putt is losing the fish off the board.
exactly. Yeah,
That's brutal. We were talking before we came on live, right? And I was telling you how I used to fish quite a bit, and it's just not me anymore. I just don't. It's just not my thing. But my company has a long history of fishermen, and so one of our annual corporate outings, and each one of our hotels, the management, all the different management teams do this same trip. We do a drift boat on the Mackenzie, and we fly fish for trout. And we've gone with the same guide for 30 plus years. And then he, basically he asks at the beginning of the day, "Are you taking home? Or are you eating?" And if you're eating, like we catch enough he fries them up at lunchtime, right? We pull out and he fires up he's got this cast iron skillet that's, looks like looks like a flying saucer. It's so huge. And
yeah,
he fries up all the fish for us. And then we just spend the day out on the river. So I'm good with that.
yeah.
But
That's
man,
kind of cool.
it's fun. It is fun watching your stuff though. It is fun watching the fishing, I think, more than actually doing it for me.
The only reason why my channel has totally like switched to mainly fishing is just I just got out of the habit, or not out of the habit, but I just got tired of the whole like I don't know what it is, but just the grind of trying to film an entire round of golf and then editing it with the shot tracers and all of that stuff, and it was just like
Yep.
it was a grind, and fishing editing is a lot easier to do. So it's laziness basically is what it is. But I do want to get back
You're
to
speaking my language.
yeah, I do want to get back into doing some more golf content. But I mean, I'm sure a lot of golf or a lot of YouTubers have gone through it. But I've gone through the whole thing of like, is it even worth it to do it at all anymore? Like just give up completely doing it. And then I'll like run into somebody randomly on a golf course, and they're like, "Oh, I love your content," and I'm like, "Man, see now I'm like feel like obligated to come back and put more stuff." Yeah, it's just
I get the occasional guys that are like, "Oh, when are you going to put out more on course stuff?"
yeah,
Right, because you talk about the lazy. Well, there may be less editing in fishing than there is in golfing. There's like almost no editing in what we're doing right here. So
yeah,
I've been doing a lot of this. Plus, it's fun getting to meet people and talk to people, and you're not,
yeah.
recording by yourself. It's just a lot more fun. But yeah, it is a grind. I don't think people appreciate how much of a grind it is if
Oh,
you don't
it's
have
a
a
lot of work.
cameraman. It's a grind to go out and record a round, and it takes
Yeah,
some of the fun out of golf. And so kudos to guys who do it over and over and over again. I don't hold myself to any sort of schedule doing it.
yeah, I can't do that. I just get in such a rut of like feeling forced to edit. So I just could never hold myself to a schedule either.
Right. Right. My schedule is I try to do something once a week. If I don't make it, that's okay. I'll try again
Well,
next
and
week.
you record on your phone, right?
I do.
Yeah, so like I've another issue too is like I record with GoPros fishing.
Hmm.
I even do it for golf, and I've just had so many issues here lately, just like cameras shutting off or you know SD cards not working or just random plugs come unplugged, and so it's just like stuff like that you just got to fight through, and
Hmm.
that yeah, so batteries dying. I try to do everything on external battery and just leave it running the
Hmm.
whole time, so I don't have that of like, oh, I wasn't recording for that. But then that
Yeah.
just adds to going through all of the footage to find what you need, and yeah,
Yeah. It's tough. It's tough.
it is.
He's on. I'm playing golf tomorrow with Paul, and like we were talking about recording or whatever, and my solution was I'm not going to record every hole. I just
Yeah.
in my mind I know the holes that I like to record because I like the way they look visually. So I'm like, okay, Paul, look, I got 2 mics. We can both mic up. We can give a recap of what the holes that we didn't record, and then we'll record these holes and have fun. We'll see how that goes. I don't know. We'll see if that works or not. But yeah, it is definitely a grind. So I can completely appreciate why you would switch to fishing. But it's no, I mean, the way you just described it, it's not that much easier, right? If you've got to go through, 5 hours of GoPro footage to find the, 13 to 15 minutes of stuff that you want to keep. That's just as bad.
Oh yeah, it's like I said, it's work, and then it becomes like a job, and then takes away from time with your family and stuff like that. So that's what I mean. There's been times when I'm just like, is all of this worth getting 1,000 views for? But then you meet those people that are
Right.
like, no, dude, I really like your stuff, and then you're like, that's kind of why I do it. It's like for these moments like this. So.
I keep telling myself and I keep reminding myself, and I bring it up in almost every one of these live streams where I'm talking to another creator. I keep reminding myself that this is a hobby. I enjoy this. I enjoy this. I enjoy, keep reminding myself I enjoy this. I enjoy this. Just making these is the hobby. It's fun for me. Right. So that's what keeps me like at least slowly plugging along, little 400 subscribers, and been dinking and dunking at this thing for whatever 5 years. Oh, that's almost depressing to say 5 or 6 years of 400 subscribers, but it's a hobby. It's fun. And that's why I'll just keep doing it and finding different things that interest me in it and pursue those as I see fit.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, what I originally did it for was because I like to go back and look on the experience myself, right? Like, oh, hey, I remember that course, and now I have it filmed, so I can go back and I can re-experience that. Same with fishing, and go back in history, like what was I doing this time on that lake? So that's what it originally started out as, and then it just kind of grew and grew, and then the review videos started doing really well, so I did more of that. And it's kind of how it started out. But like my very first video ever on this channel was a hiking trip I did with my dad. And, like now my dad's not here, so I still have that to go back and look at. And that's, cherish that time. So that's kind of how it started out. It's just kind of snowballed from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I started just to try it. There was no thought or whatever. And I quickly learned after going back and watching my rounds that it actually was it was a really cool learning tool for me. And I noticed that I made a lot of really dumb decisions on the golf course. And it almost takes, seeing yourself, watching yourself like in the third or second person or whatever, watching yourself be stupid and make stupid decisions and try stupid things. That kind of pulled me out of it. I'm like, oh, wow, that's dumb. Why am I doing that? And I used it that way for a long time. So I recorded them and had fun, and I didn't even post everything that I recorded, but I would record them, put them together just so I could go back and watch them and be like, oh, wow, what are you doing there? And then slowly over time, right, you build up sort of those online relationships and start to meet people and start to talk to people and make friends like yourself. I've been subscribed to your channel forever, and then it gets to be fun. Then it's like gets to be the community aspect, and so you're sort of the motivation and desire to do things on YouTube start to change and morph and transition into other things that you maybe didn't expect or didn't plan on. There are guys though that like they want to make money on this, and and that's cool, man, and great for them because they're the ones that are just pumping out content, right?
Yeah, all the more power.
I can watch them. I can watch
all
them.
the more power to them, and it takes a lot to actually make a living doing it. So mad props to those people that grind and get to that point, because once you get monetized, that's the thing. Everyone thinks, oh, right when you get monetized, then I'm going to start making all this money, and it's just not that way. So
Well, you're not retired off your channel yet?
Oh, not at all. Not even close. I'd like
Where
to
do you
be,
think
but
this is? That just made me think of something. Where do you think that? My guess is that there are more. I don't know what you call them, affiliate partnership opportunities on the fishing side than the golfing side?
Potentially, yeah. But nobody's just going to reach out to you and just be like, "Hey, we want you to promote our product." It's a lot of like you do the legwork. You go tell the people, "Hey, this is what I can offer. This is, you know." But I just
Mhm.
don't like that aspect. I don't like beg is a wrong term, but I don't like going and begging people for stuff like that. So I've never done that. I've never reached out to a company and been like, "Hey, if you give me free stuff, I'll promote your product," because
I'll
I want
catch
it to
bigger
be
fish.
yeah, I want it to be something I want to use, and I kind of want it to be organic. You know, if someone reached out to me and it was a product I could stand behind, I would do that. But I just never, and then you kind of feel like you're locked into that, you know, like that pressure of now I have to promote this product all the time, or, you know, what am I getting out of it? They're going to drop
Right.
me. And I just don't want
Yeah.
that. Like I said, I'm not in this for a living. I'm not going to make a living at it. So it's more for fun. And like you said, the community aspect is what really keeps me in it. I've met some really great people from it. And yeah, there's just I don't want to
I
go
went
down
back.
that road.
Yeah, I went back. So I was going through some of your older videos, and it's pretty fun. I remember something that stood out to me. I remember you playing in Hawaii, so I went back and watched some of the Hawaii videos. And then the one thing that I forgot about was, and because this is all like COVID time, right? Or
Close, yeah,
kind of close to that, a little after. But then there was the
yeah,
Creator Cup down in Southern California, right? And then
yeah. That
it
was a
was fun
blast.
watching that. It was fun watching that because it was a bunch of guys who were really active at that time, and I was subscribed to all of them. And I'm watching, and I'm like, oh, I forgot about that guy, and I forgot about that guy, and I forgot about that
Yeah,
guy.
I know.
So it's kind of cool when.
Yeah,
Go ahead, share.
I was just talking to Miles on Instagram, Miles Martin. I was
Hmm.
talking to him the other day because like he just recently started posting some stuff again. And I
I
was just
saw
like,
that.
"Hey man, where did everybody go? Everyone that was in that time frame is like doesn't post anymore." And he was like, "Oh yeah, you're right." He like went back and he's like, "Yeah, this person's not
Hmm.
around anymore." That yeah, so I mean even the bigger guys that were bigger channels from the Creators Cup, they don't even post anything
Yeah.
anymore.
Well, I know a bunch of guys had babies, right? A bunch of guys had kids.
Yeah.
Um, and when I think back, like some of the channels that I was watching then that I really enjoyed and enjoyed interacting with them and stuff. What Terminator Golf was that? Brett, is
Yeah,
that his name?
Brett.
Brett.
Yeah.
I remember something. I think he had kids or he had another baby or something like that.
Yeah,
And
he's got
so
two
it
kids
gets
now.
tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gets tough.
Yeah.
Bro Chacho, same story.
Yeah. He
And they just
actually
never came back to it.
because you don't have Instagram, so I follow these guys still
No.
on Instagram. But he opened up a simulator place in Southern
Oh,
California. Yeah, and we
nice.
were down there a couple years ago at Disneyland, and I stopped in and like was gonna pop in and say hi to him, but I guess for some reason the store was closed or whatever. So I sent him a message, and he's like, "Oh man, I just missed you. Bummer. You know, you should have told me." And I was like, "Well, I didn't know for sure if we were gonna be able to swing it, you know, swing by and see him, but that was kind of cool."
The the one that really bums me out is the Bogey Brothers.
Yeah,
That they're not still pumping stuff out because they were pretty fun.
yeah.
And I don't know what happened and why that stopped, but I really liked watching them. I thought that they were very engaging and had a good time.
Yeah, that was such a blast that whole trip and playing night golf down there with everybody. We were just like,
Hmm.
I don't know, there was like 12 of us on the tee and just playing a little par 3 course at night. It was the most fun I've had playing golf. It was really a blast. And then staying with a
Yeah, I
lot of
don't.
the guys at the Airbnb, it was just so much fun.
Oh, I didn't. That part I didn't know. That would have been. That actually probably would have been. That's like pretty additive. That'd be pretty fun because then you really get to know them outside
Oh
of
yeah.
just the golf personality that you see curated online.
Yeah.
And you guys also set the template for Good Goods Creator Classic
Yeah.
or
You
Creator
could,
Cup or
yeah,
whatever it's called.
we need our cut from that then.
Yeah, you did a slightly smaller scale, I believe. Slightly smaller scale.
Slightly. Yeah. Yeah.
What courses did you guys play? You were down like in Palm Desert, right, or Palm Springs?
Yeah, Palm Springs. We played PGA West and PGA Mountain, and then we played Silver Rock. So we played 3 of the courses down there, and then that little par 3 course. I don't remember what it was called, but it's just the par 3 under the lights or something.
What's your sort of your top 3 or 4 favorite courses you've ever played?
Probably Kapalua Plantation Course in Hawaii
Yep.
would have to be number 1. I would say Spanish Bay at Pebble. I'd have to put that up there. And probably, yeah, you probably won't know it, but there's a course around here called Coyote Moon up in the hills in Truckee.
Mm.
That's a great course. And then there's one other course that's like a casino course called Yochadihi.
Yep.
And it's just like, yeah, it's just like always in fantastic shape. I love playing there. It's not a super hard course, like it's a resort course, but it's just always in like immaculate shape. So it makes you feel like you're playing on like a PGA style course.
Coyote Moon, is that like a mountain style course, like narrow, hilly?
Oh yeah, lots of trees, big boulders, and elevation changes, and yeah, it's a fun course.
What's the other one up there? Like is it Apple Valley? Apple
Apple, yeah, Apple Mountain. That's in Camino.
Apple Mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it?
That's
It's
a
sort of that
beautiful
style of course. Because that's a really cool. I've watched a couple of videos of that course. That one's really kind of.
Yeah.
It looks super challenging if you can't hit it straight, and I can't hit it straight. So I don't know if I'd ever play it, but
it's a course that you definitely lose a lot of golf balls on, and it's like it's really laid out to where if you know, like you don't even hit driver a ton on that course just because it's like the wrong club. It's either too much or you know, you got a big hard dog leg left and you can't really cut the corner or dog leg right, you know, all kinds of challenges, and there's lots of slopes. So even sometimes when you hit it in the middle of the fairway, it'll just roll off out into the rough, and you just got to be really careful where you place it. It's like target golf is basically what it is. You got to hit it to a spot.
Well, if you take driver out of my hands, I might have a chance, right? If driver gets taken out of my hands, then it's typically when I play my best. It's the one that I can't keep on the plane.
Yeah, that used to be how it was for me, but now that's probably like my favorite club. It's kind of funny how that went. Yeah, the club I hate the most is 3-wood. I cannot hit a 3-wood to save my life.
I used to just roast my 3-wood, but I took it out of the bag because I just never used it. I never had a. I play at the same course all the time because Remember's at a club, and so there's very few holes where I pull 3-wood out. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna yank it out of the bag and put something else in. So, but I only carry like 11 or 12 clubs. So I guess I could carry it, but how would you describe your game? Like if someone asked like, what's your golf game like? How would you describe your golf game?
Mediocre. No, I would say the best part of my game is my scrambling ability. I think my short game is fairly decent. You put a 60-degree wedge in my hand and a putter, and I can get up and down and save pars, or you know, that's the strength of my game. I think the weakness of my game is long irons, and like I said, woods. Like when I hit it great, it goes perfect, but I top it more often than not. I just can't get that down half the time. So I think that's the weak part of my game, but I definitely can scramble my butt off. And that's, I think, the strongest part of my game.
So before we jumped on, or I think it was before we jumped on, we were talking about, you know, when you started golf, it took like it was like your sole focus. You weren't fishing. It was all golf all the time.
Obsessed.
How did you get into golf? How did you get into it? Well, first of all, how old were you and how did you get into it?
So I'm 48 now, and I didn't get into golf until my early 30s. And what ended up happening is, so I was living out in Tennessee, and then I moved from Tennessee to Missouri, and I spent some time in Missouri. And then I won some money playing poker, and like it was a decent amount of money. And I decided I'm going to travel around and play poker for a while. Well, that led me out here to California, and I was out here, and a friend that I had met in Tennessee had moved out here to California, and he was like, "Hey, do you want to go play golf?" And I had only ever been to like a driving range like once or twice before, and maybe on a course one other time, but not a golfer. Like, not, it wasn't something I did. I was like, sure, I had played tournament softball for years, and just I have that competitive like aspect, right? And I had played tournament softball forever, and then I blew out both shoulders, and I just couldn't do it anymore. But I wanted to get into something that was competitive and that I could try to do. So I was like, yeah, hey, I'll go out with you. I don't have clubs. And my cousin that I was staying with at the time, he's like, you can borrow my clubs. And I was like, okay. So we went down and I played golf with him, and I packed it around all over the place. But I was like, hey, this is kind of fun. So that day I went to a pawn shop and I bought a used set of golf clubs that day. And then I just started going to the driving range, and then just started chipping and putting, and it just like snowballed from there. And I was like playing. Back then I was single, so I was playing like every single day. I was like, get off of work and I'd go play golf. And the weekends I'd play 2 or 3 rounds in the weekend. I just was obsessed with it. So
Yeah.
I've never had a lesson.
What's the best round you ever put together?
It was late last year. I 2 over at Mather, 74. Yeah.
That's good. That's awesome.
Yeah, and then I thought, you know what? I figured it out. And then the next week I shot an 86. That's golf in a nutshell.
I got it figured out.
Yeah.
I got it. Finally, I got it. Yeah. So when you shot that score, this is fun. When you shot that score, were you aware? Were you sort of aware of where you were at overall?
Yes and no. Yes, I knew, because internally I'm just like, okay, par, but I don't like to look at my scorecard and know what it is, because for the longest time I was trying to break 80, right? I did like a couple break 80 videos, and like I would get so close. I'd be like, okay, all I got to do is par these next 3 holes and I'll break 80. And then you just start thinking about it, and then, start snowballing. So like, I just was like, I don't want to know how close I am. I just want to put the score in at the end and then be like, okay, I broke it, And once I broke the 80, then that kind of seal had been broken, and I would kind of know, but still wouldn't really follow, because I don't want to put the added pressure on myself. But yeah, so that day I knew, I was just like, I had 6 birdies in that round and a couple bogeys.
You're playing good. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just like, I know this score is going to be the best score I've ever had, but I didn't want to know what the final was until the 18th was over with. And then I looked down and I was just like in awe. I was like, really? So I wrote the score. It's in one of those balls up there, but yeah, I wrote the score on it. Played the same ball the whole round, obviously, like just one of those rounds.
That's cool. So you talk about like you broke the seal, so now you do it. You can do it again or whatever. I'm still waiting. I broke the seal, and I never duplicated it. And I asked about, did you know the score? Because I am the same way. I have a sense for how I'm doing. I mark down my score at the end of each hole, but I don't look at my overall score. Occasionally I'll look at the turn, and that's it. But most of the time I don't even look at the turn. And on that round when I broke 80, I made the conscious decision to put myself under pressure and look at the score. And so then I knew, like at the turn, I was like, oh, wow, that was a really good front 9. Yeah. Let's see if we can keep it rolling. And then I started keeping track in my head, and it actually ended up working out great for me. I don't know that pressure is what did it, but it was kind of fun playing with that pressure, because I don't usually put that kind of pressure on myself. And so just like reminding myself, and I happen to be recording too. And I was telling the camera, I'm like, I can't believe this is happening. And to get it over the finish line is pretty cool.
Yeah, I know that's, I hadn't been recording my rounds, so I didn't get that one recorded, but I have a couple of the break 80 ones that I had. And I was just like, oh, I'm so glad I was recording that round. Like one of them was at that Yochadihi. Like that day I was just like draining putt after putt. And even the guys that, like, I was playing with guys I didn't know, just a bunch of random guys that were friends. I was like the lone single, and they were just like, do you one putt every hole? Like I was just like one putting from everywhere. It was just one of those days, like everything was working,
I hope you said yes.
Yeah, totally. I was like, yeah, I'm that good.
Yeah, that's me. That's cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know. I'm just happy that I did it because I don't know if I'll ever do it again. I've gotten close, but you know,
You'll do it. You'll do it. Golf, like I said, is a funny thing. Like I said, I've not even sniffed 80 since then, since I did the 74. It's just because if you're not playing consistently and just, staying on top of it, it's just hard. It's such a hard game. Like when I'm playing the best is when I'm consistently going and stopping and practicing every day. Like I
yeah,
I used to I used to stop 2 to 3 times a week and just chip and putt at the local golf course on my way home from work. And those are the times like that my game's sharp. But when I stop doing that and get lazy, golf definitely kicks you in the teeth.
yeah. I used to do the same thing. Lots of that chipping,
Yeah.
putting practice, and it is, that actually is when I broke 80. And now I don't do it, and I'm like, oh, I'll just play more. I'll just play more. That'll get me better. That'll get me better. Clearly has not has not come to
Well,
fruition yet, but
yeah, I'm a little of the same though. Like I think playing on course is great. Like I don't get anything from smashing balls at a driving range. I don't get anything out of that. I'd rather go play a course, but I do get something out of chipping and putting. Like it's where you
mhm,
save so many strokes. Like if you can get up and down, it just you can save so many strokes in a round. And like I
yeah.
said, you put a 60-degree wedge, I usually chip everything with my 60 just because that's what I'm comfortable with. I keep it in my truck and I stop and I practice with that. So I'm just comfortable with that wedge. And I feel like I can get up and down from anywhere pretty much. So,
It is funny because I feel the same way that like I do get better at the skills if I practice chipping and putting. I get sharper in both of those.
yeah,
I don't necessarily if I'm doing full swing stuff at the range, so I'm probably doing the wrong stuff. But I can't say I don't get anything from it because there is like and it's probably the worst habit to have at the range. There is something super relaxing about completely zoning out. And even if it's just using the same club over and over and just raking and hitting.
I think
That's
yeah, I
can
think,
be very relaxing to me.
see, I think my problem is on the range for some reason. I think I just like try to hit the ball as far as I possibly can on the range. And I just try to overswing too much. So, but when I'm out on a course, I'm not saying I never do that, but I don't do it as much. Like I'm not trying to kill the ball 400 yards because I'm never going to hit it that way. But on the range, I think I can for some reason.
Well,
So
because on the course you actually you're forced into actually having some kind of target or some
yeah,
sort of thought process, and you don't. That's not required on the range if you don't consciously decide that that's how you're going to practice. You're not forced into it. The course forces you into saying,
right.
I need to hit it about this far and in about this direction, not just I'm going to smoke this thing as hard as I can,
Yeah,
right? Which is fun,
yeah,
but it doesn't lead to your best scores, right?
yeah.
So any we talked again prior to coming on. We talked about you come up to playing at Bandon Dunes last year, and I'm sorry I wasn't able to make that work to come down and meet you and play. But any other golf trips planned in the future? And did you play golf when you went to the UK?
I was going to play in Northern Ireland. This is actually from Rory's home course.
Yeah, I saw that.
But my wife got super sick when we were in Northern Ireland. So I just felt like it wasn't right for me to go off and play golf while she was sick. So I was just like,
Good
no,
call.
yeah, we're not going to worry about that. So no, I did not play. It was on the itinerary, but yeah, we just had to scratch that at the last minute. But as far
And
as future trips, like I said, I've got a 50th birthday coming up, and I'm just trying to decide what I want to do for that trip. My wife's kind of giving me, free reign to pick a golf destination on that, and I'm either looking at Coeur d'Alene, Idaho,
mhm,
and playing that course and staying like on the lake there so I can
on the
do a
lake.
little bit of fishing and golf there, or we talked about the Pebble thing, but Pebbles is so hard to get on there, and you have to stay on property, and the cost for Pebble is gone through the roof. I feel like I can get more value playing somewhere else. And one of the other places we looked at is what you're talking about, the Creators Cup or whatever, that whole Branson, Missouri area.
Oh
I'll
yeah, yeah.
play a bunch of those courses up there. I mean, I could probably play 5 of those courses for what one round at Pebble would cost. So
hmm hmm
yeah.
Well, if you want to mix golf and fishing, I would also think about maybe head up towards Seattle and go play Chambers Bay, right? Play
Oh yeah.
Chambers and then do a little fishing on the Sound.
Yeah. That would be cool.
You know,
Yeah.
there's so many great places that you can go where you can, you know, combine good golf, and it's like, what kind of weather do you want? What other activities do you want?
For sure.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, there's tons of places like that, honestly, too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Well, that's pretty cool.
even yeah, like on this trip that I was telling you earlier about, where we're going to Texas, and then we're traveling from some Texas down through some of the southern states, Louisiana, Mississippi, and we're looking at charter trips out of a I can't remember the town, but somewhere down there in Louisiana, Mississippi, and then there's like plenty of golf around there too, that contemplating on whether or not I try to squeeze in around down there. I'd have to use
Well,
rental clubs because I'm not traveling with my clubs down there.
if it's a trip for your birthday, I would say go for it.
Definitely, yeah.
I'm hitting Mexico in like 4 weeks from today. I will be in Mexico, and
Nice.
like you said, you know, you're not traveling with your clubs. I've gone to Mexico. I don't know. This is maybe the 10th or 11th trip to Mexico. Never taken my clubs, and we're always staying right next to some golf course. It looks awesome, and I've never even golfed there. Like, shame on me, right? I have this
Yeah,
opportunity to go to all these great courses, and I just never even touch them. But I'm kind of thinking maybe this time we might, but it'll be a rental club situation, and you know,
yeah.
I should probably bring down a dozen balls or something.
Well, your wife golfs too, so that should be
She
an
does.
easy sell. Yeah, that should be an easy sell.
It would be actually, and that's what has me thinking about it. Like, okay, well, she golfs too, and you know, the couple that we're going with, they also golf. Maybe that's a good little excursion. Head out
Yeah,
a
that's
little
like
bit of jungle golf.
every time we go up to Bandon, like my brother-in-law and my father-in-law, they golf, and then my brother-in-law's kids have started to get into golf, so they went with us this last time to golf. But my wife and his wife were like, "Well, what are we gonna do in Bandon?" I was like, "I don't know, but we're going there to
Yeah,
golf."
Bandon is I think my dad described it as a golf desert, meaning that it's only golf. It's a desert made of just golf. And because my mom doesn't golf, and they went for, I don't know, his birthday or anniversary one time or something. I can't remember what. And it was different than what they expected. I mean, he loved the golf, but it's like, you know, she's looking around like they grew up with the course. She's loving the course, but still, like, what am I supposed to do here? There's not a
Yeah.
lot to do.
Well,
Uh,
it's kind of got like family history with my wife's family too. Like her grandmother was from Bandon. She like lived in Bandon
okay.
when she was
Yep.
young. So yeah,
Yep.
they knew about Bandon before the course was even there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my family's all from the coast as well, further up
Yeah.
north, but kind of the same story, right? Well, look at that. How's your day going? Alt Tyler. Alt Tyler 123. Day's going pretty good. It's Friday, right? And I've got some post workout sport beverages. I think Jeremy's day's going pretty good as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for joining.
Yeah, thank you for joining. Thank you for commenting. Oh man. All right. Gone through a lot of my questions here, a lot of my topics. What this kind of goes back into what we were talking about at the beginning, sort of like the feelings and stuff about golf or golf and fishing. What's sort of the motivation? What's the motivation to go out fishing versus the motivation to go out golfing? They're both hobbies for relaxation and for
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it has to do with like, is it a tournament weekend? Because, like I said, I basically only get my weekends unless I have like, scheduled time off or whatever. So it's basically like, is this a weekend that I have a fishing tournament coming up? And in those cases, it's obviously I'm going to go fish the tournament. And then like sometimes it's just like, well, what is the weather doing? Is it going to be super windy? Because if it's super windy, being out on the kayak gets a little challenging sometimes. So I can play golf in the wind. I'm not worried about that. I've played abandoned, so I've played in some pretty bad wind. But when you get out there on a kayak and you got 3 to 4 foot rollers, I'd rather go golf than fight that all day long. So those are some of the factors. And then like, sometimes it's, well, I have a buddy that wants to go fishing that day and he may not be into golf. So I might go out there and go fishing, feel like, I'd rather go hang out with a buddy than go golf because I don't have a ton of people. Like I said, my brother-in-law and my father-in-law, but I don't have like a ton of people around here that will go golfing with me on a whim. That's kind of like what I do golfing is sometimes at 9 o'clock at night, I'm like, you know what, I'm going to go golf tomorrow and I'll just get on and find a tea time. Right. I don't have too many people that are just like, yeah, shoot, I'll drop whatever I'm doing and go with you. So yeah, I don't mind going and playing around by myself.
So I'm sitting here. I forgot a question I was going to ask you about tournament fishing, right? As
Yes.
I'm opening another beverage here. For a lot of people, fishing is really just an excuse, and same with golf, just an excuse to pop a few pops, right?
For sure.
Do guys do that in those tournaments?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, I mean, I spent last weekend at the campsite and we are all just, sitting around drinking beer and chatting. And, like, I guess technically you're not supposed to drink beer during the tournaments, but I'm sure guys do it. I generally don't just because, like, for one, a lot of times you're just out in the sun all day long and
Yeah.
just dehydrates you really quickly. So I don't drink a lot on like if I won't actually drink during the tournaments, but like the pre-fishing days when we're just out there goofing off, definitely have a beer or two in the cooler. Yeah, for sure.
So it's an actual rule in the tournaments. You're not supposed to drink during the tournaments.
I think technically, yeah, it's a safety factor,
Yeah. Oh, I
like,
get that for sure.
yeah. Yeah. And there's insurance and all that stuff involved. So
Is there a limit on so also your kayak? I haven't seen the whole thing in one. Well, I guess I have seen the whole thing in one shot. There's no bathroom on your kayak, so that's also an issue. Is there a size limit to the kayaks?
no. I mean, there's a new kayak out now that it's like 14 foot, but it's like double the width of mine. It's basically a little boat is what it is. But no, I don't think there's a size limit on like it has to be under this length or whatever.
Is the advantage to that just like, well, maybe you put a bathroom on it, I don't know, but is the advantage to a bigger kayak like that just more gear?
For sure, yeah. And
good.
What I was going to say is a lot of these kayaks, like, yeah, they're kayaks, but I even have a trolling motor on the front of it, and some of these kayaks and some of these kayak tournaments they allow you to have 2 motors. So they'll have a trolling motor on the front and just like a stern motor. It's all got to be electric. It's not gas powered. You can't put like an outboard on it. But don't think people haven't tried. So yeah, it's just like the more weight you put on, the more stability you want. The bigger the kayak is, the more stable it is. Okay. All that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Was last year? So I think it was last year. There was that big hubbub about the guys that got caught cheating. In like a big money tournament. Was that in California?
There's a couple of them that I'm thinking of. There was a walleye tournament that was a few years ago. Yeah, where they were shoving weights down the fish.
Yeah, it was walleye. It was walleye. I think it might have been walleye. That wasn't California.
Yeah, that wasn't California. No, that was like Wisconsin or something like that. I don't remember. But yeah, they were shoving weights down the fishes. Man, like anything, guys are going to cheat. It happens.
Cheating golf.
Yeah, so I've even seen posts about where guys in bass tournaments, they'll like make a little cage and they'll catch the fish, a couple days before, put them in a cage, and then have it like have a buoy on it and sink it to the bottom of the lake, and then tournament morning they pull it up and pull their fish out. Like, just not that serious into trying to win a tournament to have to cheat, man. It's
try harder, guys. Try harder.
Yeah, what do you get out of that?
Yeah, that's crazy. Say hi to Joe there. I see Joe in the comments, and also welcome back to the world traveler Joe, who just got back from Scotland, or maybe he's still there. I don't know. And he's been golfing too, and it looks pretty awesome. He's been playing some off the beaten path kind of places, and it's going to be pretty neat once he puts those videos out. And hopefully he comes on here in a couple of weeks too to talk about it.
Right on.
That's what I'm looking forward to. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. Well, Jeremy, look, it's been about an hour. I think I've tried to keep these to about an hour. So, just to not keep you having to talk about yourself and your fishing and your golf and answering my stupid questions about bathrooms on kayaks for too long. But I certainly appreciate you coming on. I appreciate everybody coming into the chat and asking questions and commenting. And if you haven't yet, highly encourage you to go subscribe to Double Bogey Bass.
Stupid name.
The best. Well, you know what? Look at my name. Mike Golfs Oregon. It should actually just be Mike Golfs One Course in Oregon.
Yeah. Well, mine had a reason for it that I think only really I got, but it's just kind of created its own animal. I've thought about changing it. My wife's like, no, that's your identity now. You got to leave it.
What was it? Okay, so tell us now. Now I got to know what was the only reason that only you got?
So it was kind of like a play on words. Like, in bass fishing, the what everybody tries for is a double digit bass, right? Well, I'm golf and fishing. So I was like double bogey bass. Plus my dog's name is Bogey, so it was kind of like all intertwined into that. And like I said, only I got it, but I knew what I was trying to say.
There's just layers, and now I get one more layer.
Yeah.
That's good. I like it. Well, regardless of what it means, and regardless of whether he changes it or not, I'm going to encourage everybody who watches this to go subscribe to Jeremy's Double Bogey Bass, whether you like the double meaning or not, and catch the best of his fishing and the best of his golf. Hopefully more golf soon. But the fishing is pretty fun to watch too. Even from someone who's not a fisherman, it's fun to watch you fish. It's fun to hear your commentary. And I will keep holding out in just the nicest way possible for eventually there to be a fall off the kayak at some point, because I'm telling you, that's your viral video right there. That's your viral video.
Right on. All right. I'll keep that in mind.
Good. Oh, fantastic.
Thanks for having me on.
Well, yeah, Jeremy, thanks for coming on tonight. All right. Thanks. Good night, everybody.
See you.